Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inner Weather channel, where we take a look at a concept and give it some light. I'm your host, Naomi, here in my sunshine state, sharing some insights with you. In my opinion, we are all capable of bettering ourselves if we just slow down enough to check inwardly and make some adjustments. Before we begin, here's the disclaimer. I'm not a therapist, doctor, or medical professional. What I share here is for reflection, education, and personal insight only, not medical or mental health advice in any way. Always trust your own discernment and seek professional support when needed. You know, when life starts spiraling out of control, ask for help. Take good care of yourself and enjoy our time together. I'm here to give you permission to slow down, take a breath, and think about your inner well-being. I am sharing my own revelations about these topics that have helped me elevate myself to enjoy life more. It's that simple. Here at Inner Weather, we take a few moments to notice what's happening inside, the emotional and mental atmosphere we're carrying, just like we notice the weather outside. Some days are calm, some days are stormy, and all of it passes. Everything is temporary. My personal and preferred inner weather is sunshine, blue skies, and anywhere near the sea. When I'm here experiencing this, I feel great and enjoy life much more. I'm at peace, and slowing down helps me breathe and relax. Isn't this the best space of all? I mean, don't we all want to feel good? Yes. Okay, so let's begin. Today's inner weather forecast is vision, not our eyesight, but inner sight. The ability to perceive possibility, direction, and meaning beyond the immediate moment. Vision is the quiet capacity to imagine what could be, to sense where you're going, or simply to hold a broader understanding of your life as a whole. The dictionary offers several definitions of vision. One is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Another is a mental image of what the future may or could be like. And a more poetic definition describes vision as something seen in a dream or trance, or a supernatural appearance that conveys revelation. Even in everyday language, we often speak of having vision, losing vision, or gaining clarity of vision. So at its heart, vision is both practical and imaginative. It is foresight, direction, and meaning-making all at once. Vision does not require grand ambitions or dramatic life plans. It can be as simple as knowing the kind of day you want to live, the kind of presence you want to bring, or the kind of person you hope to become over time. Vision is less about achievement and more about orientation. It answers quiet questions like, where am I headed? What matters to me? What am I growing toward? In daily life, vision often becomes obscured, not because we lack it, but because our attention becomes crowded. Tasks, obligations, worries, and noise can narrow our view to only what is immediately in front of us. When this happens, life can begin to feel reactive rather than intentional. We move from one demand to the next without remembering the larger arc of our own becoming. Vision restores that arc. It gently widens the lens. You might imagine vision like standing on higher ground. The terrain of life is still the same. The paths, the hills, the weather. But from elevation, you can see connections, directions, and possibilities that were invisible at ground level. Nothing external has changed, yet perspective has expanded. This is what inner vision does. It doesn't necessarily alter circumstances. It alters the way we understand them. Now, as many of you already know, I like to break down these topics with our thoughts, words, and deeds. Vision shows up first in our thoughts. A mind with vision tends to ask open questions rather than closed ones. Instead of, why is this happening to me? It might ask, where might this be leading? Instead of, I can't see a way forward, it wonders, what possibilities might exist that I haven't noticed yet? Vision-oriented thinking is exploratory. It allows uncertainty without assuming futility. It remains curious about the unfolding story of one's life. Our minds are a remarkable workshop to make our lives better at just about any moment. Next, when vision is present in words, our language often shifts toward direction and meaning. We may speak about what we value, what we're moving toward, or what we hope to create or embody. Even in small conversations, there can be a sense of trajectory, not pressure, but orientation. Words like growth, becoming, unfolding, path, possibility, and future self begin to appear naturally. Vision does not require certainty. It simply keeps us in relationship with forward movement. And don't we all want to be moving forward? Of course. In deeds, vision appears as alignment. Actions begin to reflect deeper intention rather than momentary impulse. This might look like choosing learning over distraction, nourishment over depletion, or patience over urgency. Vision-guided behavior doesn't have to be dramatic. Often it is quiet consistency, small decisions that support a direction you care about. Do you have a vision for your life? Vision does not remove difficulty, but it gives difficulty context. Effort feels purposeful when it belongs to something larger. So how can we address vision in our daily lives? There are many gentle ways to cultivate it, such as intentional imagining. This does not mean elaborate visualization or forced positivity. It simply means occasionally allowing yourself to consider what you are growing toward. And this might shift, and that's okay. You might ask, what qualities do I hope to embody more fully in the coming years? Or what kind of environment do I want to create around me? Even vague answers are enough. Vision often begins as a feeling before it becomes a plan. Another way vision grows is through perspective taking. When we step back from the immediacy of a moment and view it within a broader timeline, meaning often emerges. A current challenge may be reframed as a season rather than a permanent state. A delay may become preparation. A redirection may reveal a more fitting path. Vision is strengthened whenever we remember that today is part of a longer story still unfolding. A third practice that supports vision is exposure to inspiration, not comparison, but expansion. This might include reading thoughtful work, listening to reflective conversations, observing nature's cycles, or engaging with ideas that stretch perception. Inspiration functions like fresh air for vision. It reminds us that life contains more dimensions than our immediate concerns suggest. Even brief contact with beauty, wisdom, or possibility can reopen inner sight. The advantages of vision are both emotional and practical. Emotionally, vision tends to generate hope, not blind optimism, but grounded anticipation. When we sense direction, uncertainty becomes more tolerable because it belongs to movement rather than stagnation. Vision also supports resilience. Difficult periods feel less defining when they are understood as chapters rather than conclusions. People with a sense of vision often recover more readily from setbacks because they remain oriented toward future meaning. Practically speaking, Vision aids decision making. Choices become easier when evaluated against direction. Instead of weighing every option equally, we can ask, does this support where I'm going? Or does this align with what I value becoming? Vision, then, acts like a compass. It does not dictate every step, but it indicates general heading. Even when paths diverge, the underlying orientation remains steady. Vision also enhances patience. When we can perceive long arcs, we become less distressed by short intervals. Growth rarely occurs in a straight line, and vision allows us to tolerate the pauses, plateaus, and detours inherent in real development. I think we all can agree that life is anything but a straight line. We begin to trust that meaningful change often unfolds gradually beneath visible surface activity. Seeds germinate unseen before emergence. Vision honors that hidden process. Another advantage of vision is coherence, or a sense that one's life possesses continuity rather than fragmentation. People often describe this as feeling that their life makes sense or that events connect in meaningful ways over time. Vision does not invent meaning artificially. It perceives patterns that only become visible across distance. You might want to pause the video here as we ask some self-reflective questions, or come back later and answer them then. What kind of future do I want to strive for? Where in my life do I already sense direction, even if faintly? What helps me see more broadly when my view becomes narrow? There are no right answers. These questions simply reopen space. It's also important to recognize that vision naturally fluctuates. Periods of clarity may alternate with times of uncertainty or fog. This is normal. Don't you have days when everything is gliding along and you feel uplifted? And then maybe the very next day, everything is upside down and crazy. That's life. Vision is not a permanent state. It is an inner weather pattern that ebbs and returns. Even when you feel unsure of direction, the capacity for vision has not disappeared. It may simply be resting, recalibrating, or waiting for new information. Just as landscapes remain present beneath clouds, orientation remains beneath temporary obscurity. Lastly, nature offers many metaphors for vision. Just take a look at migratory birds who navigate vast distances guided by internal sensing rather than visible maps. Or what about the whales migrating up the west coast of America? Seeds contain the blueprint of entire plants long before any leaf appears. Rivers carve pathways over time that cannot be predicted from any single moment of flow. Vision in human life functions similarly. It often precedes visible form and becomes evident only in retrospect. We look back and realize direction was present all along. You do not need to define your entire life vision to benefit from it. Even holding a simple directional phrase can be enough. Something like toward calm, toward understanding, toward creativity, or toward contribution. Such phrases act as gentle orienting stars. They are not goals to achieve, but directions to inhabit. Vision becomes less about outcome and more about ongoing alignment with what feels meaningful. As we close, you might notice how the word vision feels within you today. Perhaps expansive, perhaps tentative, perhaps peaceful. Whatever its current weather, the presence of inner sight is always available in some form. You can return to it simply by lifting attention slightly beyond the immediate horizon and remembering that your life extends forward in ways still unfolding. Thank you for spending this time with me and with yourself. As you travel through the world, remember that vision is always with you, as you become a better version of yourself. Wherever today takes you, remember, inner weather shifts, storms pass, and the sun will shine again. If you have found any part of this video useful, or if you had an aha moment, please like and subscribe. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, remember your north, south, east, and west. You are noble, you are special, you are enough, and you are worthy.